Please pause for the moment of silence. Please stand for the pledges. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now for the Texas Pledge. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
An ISIS leader was killed in a U.S. raid in Syria.
And the story of a government agent who was kidnapped and tortured. That spawned Red Ribbon Week.
And down 2-0 when we left you on Friday, the Houston Astros now control the World Series. Those stories coming up on NHSTV Live. President Donald Trump declared Sunday morning that ISIS leader Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi was dead after a U.S. military raid in northwest Syria over the weekend.
Last night, the United States brought the world's #1 terrorist leader to justice. Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi is dead. He was the founder and leader of ISIS, the most ruthless and violent terror organization anywhere in the world.
The death of Baghdadi marks the culmination of a years-long hunt to find one of the most wanted terrorists in the world and the man who declared a so-called Islamic caliphate in Iraq and Syria in 2014. This was a devastating blow for ISIS, but as reassurance, President Trump says they already have the new leaders in their sights and are prepared to take action.
This week is Red Ribbon Week, but as students, do we know what this means outside of dress-up days? Here's a video from the United States Drug Enforcement Agency on the history behind Red Ribbon Week.
Like many hugely positive things, Red Ribbon Week grew out of something profoundly negative: the savage murder of Enrique Kiki Camarena, a Drug Enforcement Administration special agent. On February 7, 1985, Enrique Kiki Camarena Salazar had been kidnapped by drug dealers, never to be seen alive again. For his kidnappers, the story was to end there. However, for his family, friends, and a grateful nation, it was only the beginning. They pledged to not let his legacy fade and his sacrifice be in vain. Across the country, citizens wore and displayed red ribbons, not only in memory of Special Agent Camarena, but for all those whose lives were lost trying to free the nation from drugs. Beyond that, the red ribbons symbolized the development of an attitude of intolerance regarding the use of drugs. In a 1988 proclamation, Congress established Red Ribbon Week to commemorate the life and work of Kiki and to show intolerance for drugs in our schools, workplaces, and communities.
Now that we know the importance and history behind Red Ribbon Week, I am here with STUCO representatives Rayleigh Bevel and Angelyn Fenner. So what is the main purpose of Red Ribbon Week?
So Red Ribbon Week is really a chance for nations across the United States to raise awareness against drugs and substance abuse.
And how is STUCO helping raise awareness?
So every day during lunch we're having activities to basically represent the awareness, and today we'll have a red ribbon that everybody will be able to sign and pledge their standing up against drugs. And Wednesday we have drunk goggles, and we'll have activities with those basically to continue spreading awareness.
So how do these activities help accomplish that goal?
So the activities are really just to make it more like interactive, so students have more like fun with it, so it's not just like a dreading chore, just us saying don't do drugs.
And I know that it's kind of like a common sense thing, but what is like the aftermath and effects of drug?
So some of the long-term effects of drugs include brain abnormalities as well as impaired learning and memory.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming in. Back to you, anchors. Thanks, Clarissa. Congratulations to those advancing in the TMEA All-State Choir process. The students on screen were selected into a Region 2 ensemble and will audition for area on November 19th. Congrats to our singing Texans on advancing past state. Now, Texans, do you need a new book to read? One of our physics teachers has one of his favorites that is out of this world.
Hi, I'm Steve Spear, and I'm very honored to be the Book of the Week presenter today. And the books that I wanted to talk about was the Thrawn series from Star Wars. I'm a Star Wars fan. I am not an avid reader, and so when our school decided to give all of us time to read on Tuesdays during Drop Everything and Read, I was excited and I started reading the Thrawn series. Now, the Thrawn series talks about a blue alien with red eyes, and he shows a lot of tactical skill. Talks about the Empire and Darth Vader and such like that. One of the things that's found interesting about this series is the author, Timothy Zahn, actually has a Bachelor's of Science in Physics from Michigan, and so I think that what drew me to him. The way the author presented the characters, I felt very attached to them. It's like I could tell who they were. It's like I recognized them in my life or the politics around me. When I mentioned to my students that I was reading Thrawn, a couple of my students perked up and, oh, you're reading Thrawn, I like Thrawn too. And so I found it interesting that this book sort of transcends age. I recommend reading the Thrawn Star Wars series. It's a series of books that I think you'll enjoy.
Texans, consider picking up this series for a good read. Now, Ryan is here with your extended forecast. Ryan?
Thanks, Bailey. We're looking at a pretty spooky week, but also a pretty cold week as well. Today will be partly cloudy with our highs in the 70s, and currently we're at 52 degrees. But there's not much happening today, but as the week goes on, that's when it gets interesting. We're looking at a high chance of rain on Tuesday, which will drop our temperatures dramatically. We'll actually have some temperatures in the 30s Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So make sure you have your coats and jackets and get ready for a cold week. That's all I have, but here's your extended forecast and what you'll be looking like on Thursday when I come back and I give you a rundown of your Halloween weather. That'll definitely give you the chills.
Thanks, Ryan. Students, don't forget to dress accordingly for the upcoming weather. Now, Shelby is here with your all-around sports. Shelby?
Thanks, Bailey. The Lady Texan volleyball team took on the Braswell Bengals and dominated, winning with a final score of 3-1. Our Lady Texans will play again tomorrow here at home for our last district game before playoffs. They play the Little Elm Lobos at 6:30, so everyone come pack the stands and show your Texan pride. In professional news, the World Series is heating up. Over the weekend, the Washington Nationals blew a 2-game lead over the Houston Astros. Last night, the Astros won Game 5 to set them over the Nationals 3-2. In the second inning, Alvarez hit the ball into center field stands for a 2-run home run. Then, in the fourth inning, Carrera hit this ball into deep left for yet another 2-run homer. Then the Nationals would score off this hit by Juan Soto. However, this would be the only scoring play for Washington. The Astros won the game 7-1. Game 6 for the World Series will be tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. It's anybody's game, so make sure to come, tune in, and watch the show. All right, Texans, I'll see you back here on Friday for more of your sports update. Back to you.
Thanks, Shelby. And Texans, one last-minute announcement. Chief Kraft, a recruiter with the Coast Guard, will be here during all lunches. His presentation will take place in the Counseling Go Center. Please make sure to bring your lunch and be ready to get some valuable information about the Coast Guard and all it has to offer you.
And don't forget, tomorrow's Red Ribbon Week theme is Dreads Are Tacky, so dress up as a tacky tourist.
Along with the latest edition of TikTok Tuesday. Thanks for watching, Texans. This has been NHSTV Live.